everyone. I am here today with Rana Davidson, and she is with American Money Management, which is a wealth advisory firm in Rancho Santa Fe. Welcome, Rana.
Hi,
Could you
Kelly.
tell us a little bit about your credentials and background?
Yeah, absolutely. First and foremost, thank you for having me. I am a CPA. I am a certified financial planner, and I also hold the certified divorce financial analyst designation. So on a day-to-day basis, I'm primarily doing financial planning for wealth clients and also helping spouses get through their divorce process on the financial side.
That's awesome because we've talked before about the fact that the finances are typically the hardest thing for people going through divorce, having to decide how are you going to split up those assets and debts that will set each spouse up for success, moving forward. So, what would you say is the one thing that you wish people knew or did differently on the financial side of things when they're going through a divorce?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think a lot of clients don't know that CDFAs exist. They don't know that divorce coaches exist. So when a client comes into my office or finds me, the number one thing that I wish that they knew is all of the resources that they have to get through their divorce in a way that best suits them and their process. On the financial side, there's often one spouse who's maybe not as well versed in the finances. And so getting them working with a CDFA or professional that can help them just come to their mediation or their divorce process on an equal footing, being able to make educated decisions. I wish that more clients knew that there was other professionals besides just mediators and attorneys that they could turn to when they needed extra support.
Oh, I can't agree more. I always say to my clients that when it comes to divorce, there are very few, if any, legal decisions that need to be made, with the exception of how you fill out your paperwork and do your filings with the court. Things really only become legal issues when you don't agree. And what I find is when people are educated, they have a better chance of finding ways to agree or come together to find creative solutions. And I think that is so important on the financial side of things, which is why working with someone like you, I think is critical to the success of the process.
I agree. That's why I do what I do. One of the things that I try to focus on is the long-term impacts of the divorce. So not just, how is your divorce, how are your assets being split today, but how will that impact your ability to afford your goals in the future? So I really try to bring a long-term financial planning approach to the CDFA work that I do. So when you're showing up to a mediation, you understand how those different settlement options are going to impact your finances, not just tomorrow, but long term, so that you can make the best decisions for you. And like you said, especially in mediation, you can agree to anything that you want, as long as you're making an informed decision and you know your legal rights. You don't have to go 50-50. You can do whatever you'd like. And so being able to show up to the table, understanding what you can negotiate and what you can't, because you have that long-term view, is something that I really try to give to clients so that they're prepared for their divorce negotiations.
I think that's fantastic. I am a true believer as well that people need to be prepared before they go into mediation or even litigation for that matter, really understanding the various options that are on the table and how each of those choices are going to impact them in the future. Anybody who's heard me, talk before, I always say, divorce is hard enough, but living with the regret of choices you made is, I believe, worse because that regret lives with you for years and years and years and years, even decades sometimes. So the more information that clients have when they're going through the divorce process, I think the better choices that they're able to make.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You want to have all of the information and think about, are you just settling or giving something up because you're tired? Or is that really best, what's in your best interest long term? It really comes down to, yeah, what can you negotiate and what can't you?
Right, exactly. And I do think having a team of people to advise you helps with that wearing down feeling that clients get, right? Because they have a support system. I always feel that the wearing down comes from just this, the incredible overwhelm of all the decisions that need to be made and the fear of, am I making the right decision? Should I go with this decision or this choice? And when you have a team of people that can support you through, that feeling of overwhelm and really being able to feel confident in your choices, I think it keeps people from being worn down and giving up and then making decisions that later on they're going to regret.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. In my mind, the best approach is a team approach. So, even if you don't feel like you need a therapist or a divorce coach at the beginning of your divorce, I highly recommend that you speak with those professionals so that you understand the kind of support that they can provide. Because I do see clients come into my office at the beginning of their divorce and they're, fairly optimistic, think that they'll be able to be collaborative with their spouse, and get through the process fairly unscathed. But that's just not, divorce is tough. It's hard for everybody in the best situations. And I think everybody gets overwhelmed. So knowing that you have support, even for just a couple sessions, to understand, different tools to communicate what the process is going to look like, being able to show up fully prepared and informed, is what absolutely helps with that overwhelm and just that confidence. The confidence is huge. And the only way to feel confident is knowing that you have the tools, to show up and make good decisions.
Absolutely. Of course, as a coach, I believe firmly in people having that kind of support. And I think the other thing that people need to understand is that having the support doesn't have to be really expensive. In fact, having the right support may be less expensive in many ways. When you look at what attorneys cost these days at, $450 and up an hour, and you look at the individual rates of CDFAs and divorce coaches and other professionals that have, unique skill sets, their hourly rate is usually less than that. And so it really allows you to work with the right professional who has the right expertise and the right skills to help you with whatever issue you're dealing with in the divorce process. And attorneys, really, their expertise is the law. So when you need legal advice, they're the go-tos. If you have financial issues, financial questions, then you really need to deal with somebody who has an expertise in divorce finances. And I'm going to say that again, an expertise in divorce finances. It is a unique skill set, and understanding the difference of a dollar under the lens of divorce versus a dollar outside of divorce is very important. So working with somebody that understands that, like yourself, I think is critical to the success of the process.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I am a CPA. I am a certified financial planner. I have the CDFA designation, but what I learned in the CDFA designation, and I did in a year-long advanced training program specifically related to divorce finances, because just that certification wasn't enough. You want to make sure that you're working with a professional who is well-versed in divorce, has devoted time to learning all of the ins and outs, because there's so much there, and you don't just know how to help somebody through divorce, because you're a CPA or a CFP. You really have to be focused in that arena to be able to best serve clients.
I couldn't agree more. And in fact, I recently did a podcast with Susan Guthrie on her Divorce and Beyond podcast. And we talked about that, you know, just like with attorneys, you want to always make sure to look at the background of the professionals that you're looking at working with. Understand, what training have they done? Have they just done a basic entry level training? Have they continued with continuing education, and whatever, skills that you need them to have. I think it's really important that you're working with people who recognize that they need to continually up their skill set in order to best serve clients.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that is also one benefit of coming to a divorce coach, a certified divorce coach, or a CDFA first, is they'll connect you with professionals that they know are phenomenal. So hopefully you can find one professional, get in with them that you trust, do initial consultations with several professionals that have been recommended to you so that at least when you show up to the door, you don't have to worry about somebody's qualifications. You just need to worry about if you feel comfortable with them or not and choosing the best professional for you. So I think, that's another great benefit of before you decide if you're going through mediation or litigation, which route you're going to, connect with, a CDFA or a divorce coach so that they can help connect you to different professionals so that you understand all of your options, and you make sure that you're working with a team that is, highly qualified.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And, I'm hoping that when people watch this video, they get to, meet you, and have that opportunity to kind of see how you think about things, because I think that that's really important. So thank you so much, Rana, for chatting with me today. I think that you shared some really important information that I think will be really helpful to people going through the divorce process.
Well, thank you so much, Kelly. Anytime. Happy to be here.
Thanks.